day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
From Studio 7 in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Studio Colorado, I'm Shannon Morse.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
Daily Tech News Show Live is made possible by you listening right now. Thank you, Justin Zellers, Carmine Bailey, Chris Beneteau, and Max. Max is a brand new patron. Everybody welcome Max. Thank you, Max. Welcome on in.
Yay, Max.
Welcome in, as they say.
Yes. Thank you to all our patrons, and everyone welcome Max. Why don't ya? And welcome to DTNS Live. This is the show where we discuss the tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better as we do it together. Shannon Morse, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We finally got some good weather over here in Colorado, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, you had some snow quite late in the season, right?
I had snow on like Friday, so there's still some snow on the ground, but at least we're about to get like good weather to start our hikes over the summertime in the Rockies. Very excited about it.
Shannon, I've been meaning to ask you, now that you live in Colorado, do you feel Rocky Mountain High?
Yeah, sometimes. If I hit Pikes Peak, which is about 14,000 feet, you definitely, it takes the breath away, literally.
It's a breathtaking view up there, I hear. Yeah.
And Tom, how is the reintegration back to LA been?
Slowly but surely, my bodily clock is readjusting to Pacific time. This morning, I went to bed at like 10:30 p.m. last night and slept all the way to 8 a.m. I was supposed to get up at 6 a.m. to take the dog out because I had an interview to do at 9 a.m., which meant I had to scramble to get the dog out and walked and all of that in an hour. And the dog was not whining. The dog was like, didn't even want to come out of his crate. He was just like laying upside down with one foot in the air, like, no, I'm going to sleep some more too. I'm like, you're not jet lagged. What's your excuse?
My dog does the same thing. Sometimes I'm like, oh no, you've been waiting for 2 hours. How horrible of me.
Yeah, right.
And Otis is like,
sleep it in.
Haven't even woken up. Well, we are here to talk about tech news, so let's get started with it in the quick hits.
Nintendo has added a delay to Canadian pre-orders for the Switch 2. They had already delayed U.S. pre-orders, so those will not happen on April 9th, but Canada will also not be able to pre-order on April 9th in order to align all of those orders together. The delay is, of course, due to them trying to adjust all of their prices and other concerns around the new U.S. tariffs. Console's June 5th launch date has not been moved. And the price is staying the same for now. Game pricing will vary, with some titles hitting $113 Canadian. We're going to talk with Scott Johnson a little bit about the whole pricing situation, the pre-tariff pricing situation tomorrow.
Reuters sources say that the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, is using AI to monitor federal communications for anti-government sentiment, including agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency. DOGE staff are reportedly using encrypted apps like Signal, plus tools like Google Docs and Grok AI to bypass traditional oversight. DOGE has yet to comply with a court order to release records following a lawsuit from the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington.
Framework, known for its customizable and repairable devices, has temporarily paused its U.S. sales of two of its least expensive laptop 13 models because of tariffs on Taiwanese imports. Framework says it would be forced to sell its lowest price models at a loss, so it's pausing that for now. Micron has announced a surcharge on some memory models or modules and SSDs. Those will start on April 9th. Semiconductors are exempt if you're buying semiconductors from Micron, but other components are affected because of the manufacturing, where the manufacturing is done in Asia. And Razer's upcoming Blade 16 and other laptops are no longer available for pre-order or purchase on its U.S. site.
Meta is expanding its Instagram teen accounts feature to Facebook and Messenger in the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia. Teen accounts have limits on messaging and tags, content exposure, plus usage reminders and nighttime quiet mode. Teens under 16 need parental permission for certain features. Meta says that 97% of Instagram teens keep protections on, so the company thinks it's working.
IBM announced the Z17 mainframe designed to support more than 250 AI-related use cases, powered by IBM's new Telum 2 processor. It delivers a 50% performance boost over its predecessor, features improved energy efficiency, support for up to 96 AI accelerator chips, and integrates with open source tools. Z17 will be available starting June 8th.
Microsoft is testing a new Windows 11 start menu that's wider, more customizable, and lets users disable the recommended feed. Not everybody liked that in the first place. The new layout supports up to 8 pinned apps per row, a unified scrollable page, and access to all apps in either list or category view. It's available in preview builds and expected to roll out to all users soon. All right, everybody, let's talk drones. Although Zipline says don't call it a drone. So the company Zipline, which has been around for a while, is expanding its drone delivery service. Let's call it drone for now. Launching in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburb of Mesquite, Texas, with plans to reach Seattle later this year if all goes well. So here's a little bit of backstory. Zipline's uncrewed aircraft are FAA approved for long range, beyond the visual line of sight or BVLOS flights. The company's P2 aircraft uses a dual system. Basically, you have 2 drones in one. A larger drone flies to the destination. You know, let's say I buy something from a pharmacy, and it comes to my destination. Then that drone lowers a small zip, as they call it, on a tether to deliver the package in a precise way. Through the current weight, although the current weight is 8 pounds within a 10-mile range. So this is still pretty last mile stuff. The aircrafts promise to be capable of 10,000 deliveries each before they would need to be either repaired or, put out to pasture. Zipline also says it's completed over 1.4 million deliveries, starting with medical deliveries in Rwanda and a partnership with Walmart in Arkansas for retail deliveries, with plans to expand into restaurants and other commercial sectors if all goes well.
I love Zipline. I've been following their progress since they started their first deliveries in Rwanda at a time when Amazon was getting 60 Minutes coverage for something that they hadn't even started testing yet. Rwanda was experiencing actual Zipline deliveries. So I'm glad to see that they've survived over the past 10, 15 years.
Sure.
Not only that, but they've innovated and are actually pushing towards making this a viable non-test pilot service. They were doing actual deliveries of medical supplies in Rwanda, and they've done actual deliveries of commercial deliveries elsewhere. They've tested in Arkansas, but it looks like the difference here is that they're doing in a complete region as far as Mesquite. It's not the whole DFW region, obviously, but they're doing a complete region, and they're continuing their partnership with Walmart with the idea of adding other partners. So the significant steps to look for here is, can they add other partners, and do people use it? Because if both of those end up being true, then you will see them start to expand this elsewhere. They say they want to even do it in Seattle, which is, of course, a little nudge at Amazon. Amazon actually has drone delivery in testing in a couple of places. They had to pause it for a while, but they're
in Texas and Arizona.
Yeah, they're far behind what Zipline's actually been doing.
Yeah, so a friend of mine who works for corporate Walmart in Bentonville, Arkansas, where Walmart's headquarters are, I asked him this morning, I was like, what do you think about all this? And he said, what's weird is that even though from my, my office to my, the office of Zipline to my house is less than a mile away, what it does is it says sort of like, what do you want? Like, you want I don't know, a handful of apples, do you, you want some cottage cheese, like whatever you want. And we will decide whether ground courier or flight courier is the right option for you. And he says, I've never gotten the flight option. Mm-hmm. And he lives there, and he's been trying it out. So this is definitely like in a test situation, you're definitely going to get differing results. When if you live in the Mesquite area of Dallas-Fort Worth and you're looking for anything that's under 8 pounds, which a lot of people would say, myself included, oh my gosh, come on. You're going to do all that rigmarole for something under 8 pounds? Like, there's no way. Like, my dog's food is more than 8 pounds. Although, Jeff Bezos has said that 86% of Amazon's deliveries, again, competitors here in this space, are 5 pounds or less overall. So there you go.
I mean, I think we tend to have the perception when we read the story as it can deliver by drone things under 8 pounds that we are going to have to decide what's less than 8 pounds in order to get the drone delivery. It's like your friend in Bentonville saying, I've ordered a bunch of stuff and I've never had the drone delivery. I wonder if there's other people who've been like, wow, every time I order something, I get the drone delivery because they just happen to order the right things. I opened up my Amazon recent deliveries. I ordered a short power extension cord. Definitely under 8 pounds. Like when I say short, I mean 1 inch short. This is for keeping my Anchor charger from falling out of wall sockets. Definitely would have been delivered. A dog backup clip for a dog harness. Definitely under 8 pounds. Some dog food. Definitely not under 8 pounds. A cable knit sweater. Probably less than 8 pounds.
Probably
but it's
less than 8 pounds, unless you're doing like some sort of sweater weight thing.
Right. I don't know if it would fit in the, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's very
not just the
voluminous.
poundage, it's also the space. So maybe the sweater wouldn't fit. Resupplies from my first aid kit would have gone in here. I have a feeling that medical is going to be a big part of this, like getting your
so too.
prescription delivered.
I wanted to ask you, Shannon, because I don't totally know. I mean, I know you live in the greater Denver area. I mean,
Yes.
Does this feel like something that would help you rather than, maybe having a courier that's stuck in traffic type thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have found, especially in the area that I live, because it's designated as a suburb in the county where Denver is located, that oftentimes the delivery drivers will get here super late at night and it's right after rush hour.
So at the end of the route. Yeah.
I'm at the end of the route. So if there was an option, if I was given the option, which is one question that I have, since your friend said that he never has received one of these drone deliveries. If I was given the option, I would love to test it because I feel like that would save me time. Oftentimes, if I'm like reviewing a new phone, I have to wait until the end of the release day to receive that phone. And if I had the option to do like an early day delivery from the same retailer via drone, I would take that because that would save me time and it would allow me to get my job done during the day. So in that sense, it's more productive.
I wonder how much, using Amazon as an example, it's like, if you are Amazon Prime, then, next day, or do you want to, save a box and have it, on your like Amazon Prime Day delivery type thing. Like there are all sorts of reasons that these companies, who are truly logistics companies are like, let us help you to help us.
Yeah, I think that's the thing to remember here is this is an option for the deliverer, not the delivery, right?
Yeah.
I'm not selecting unmanned aerial vehicle delivery. It's them saying, oh, if you order this now, we can get it to you in an hour because we have decided we can use that Zipline vehicle to get it to you.
Yeah.
I would like to be given the option. And since they do mention that they are talking to other partners, so potentially other retailers, it would be cool if some of these retailers gave the option to do that since the current ones apparently do not.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if more restaurants and retailers and pharmacies and stuff logged on board. But I don't know that I need to know whether it's a truck or a drone if it's the same amount of time, right? If it knows the truck is on its way and it's efficient, I kind of want to know too. I'm totally with you, but I don't need to, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think we've been talking about this for, I don't know, 5 years, right? Like the idea of drone delivery, it exists in very, very limited markets, but for the most part, nobody experiences this.
Well, it's like autonomous vehicles are for most people except you, Sarah, because you're in the area that has them. So you become a part of daily life. Whereas the rest of us are outside of that area are like, I never see those. They don't exist for
exactly.
me.
I'm like, Waymo, oh my God, best thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how could Zipline even, where would they drop it? Like, I don't really have an outside area.
Just on the roof.
Right. Maybe on the roof, and then.
Well, where do your packages go now?
The front porch.
Yeah, so they could just drop it on the front porch.
Yeah, but there are trees. So it's like, I don't know.
You have to fetch it out of the tree,
depending on
Sarah.
where you are in an urban atmosphere. I'm like, if you're literally and truly, like the whole thing with the Zipline is like, it comes up, it hovers, and then it drops
it
something.
down, yeah. Maybe that's why your friend never got any of these. Maybe he lives around too many trees, or she.
Well, he works for Walmart, so I don't know.
But if he lives in an area where the drone can't deliver it, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Maybe that's
which is something that I wonder about. I'm like, throw it on the front porch, I guess. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, 3 people briefed on an internal investigation have told The Guardian about how The Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, ended up in a Signal group chat about U.S. military activities, a.k.a. Signalgate. That's what some people are calling it. Tom, what is the latest?
All right, stay with me here because this is the actual explanation of how this happened. No matter how you feel about this will tell you how this happened because nobody denies that it happened, and it's a little bit intricate. Spokesperson for the administration, Brian Hughes, copied and pasted the text of an email from Atlantic's Goldberg into a text message that Hughes sent to National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. So basically, Hughes was trying to push back against a story that Goldberg was running and wanted some advice from Waltz. So he pasted the text of the email to Waltz and said, here it is, take a look at this. I need your advice on it. However, in that copied text was Goldberg's email signature, right? Because he just copied the whole thing. And the email signature included Goldberg's phone number. So this is how we get to Goldberg's phone number being on Waltz's phone at all, right? It's in a text message from Hughes. Now, at some point later, Siri looks at that text message from Hughes, sees a phone number, and asks Waltz, hey, it seems like there's a phone number from Hughes in this text message. Would you like to add it to Hughes' contacts? Siri appears to have thought Goldberg's number was Hughes's number. It didn't understand the semantics of the email and asked to add it to Hughes's contacts. If Waltz is not paying close attention, he might have approved that change. Like, oh, you found a new number for Hughes? Great. Yeah, add it to his contacts, not realizing it wasn't Hughes' phone number. Then, if he let Signal include all of his phone contacts in his list of contacts, which you can do, but you don't have to do, it might have included that listing, which erroneously listed Goldberg's number as one of Hughes's number. Even if Waltz was being picky and saying, oh, I'm only going to pick certain contacts to sync over from the iPhone contacts, if he's bringing Hughes' contact over from iPhone into Signal, it would have brought that phone number with it. And if Waltz was then trying to add Hughes to a Signal chat, it might have erroneously added the Goldberg phone number because the phone looks at the Hughes contact and goes, oh, there's a phone number. Let's add that to the Signal chat. So that is how this happened. Shannon, I think the question we want to deal with on this show is, how do you make sure that doesn't happen, right? Because Signal is what you make of it. It's end-to-end encrypted. It's very secure. If you introduce errors, as happened here, that's what's going to happen. So how do you stop yourself from doing this to yourself?
Yes. So, Tom, it sounds like from your explanation, and because I'm mostly on Android, I very rarely use an iPhone unless I'm just testing it. It sounds like you have the option to say yes or no whenever Siri chooses to add these contacts into your contact list.
Definitely
That's
the
correct?
first line of defense, right?
Okay.
Pay attention.
That's good.
Good one.
God, I can imagine the nightmares if that was not the case. So this is a story about a human error when this was not necessarily something that was paid attention to, as opposed to Signal being vulnerable to something.
Now, there's also ways with Signal to be like, don't include my contacts unless I've verified them, right?
Yes. So Signal has this thing where you can verify your Signal contact before you start texting to them, or even afterwards if they get a new phone. If you just want to check and make sure that the person you're talking to is legitimately the person that you're texting, they have this thing called safety numbers. And it's basically a verified number between two different contacts, two different phones. And whenever you're hanging out with your friend the next time in person, or if you want to contact them on an alternate method, maybe via iMessage or a phone call is probably best so that you know you're talking to them, or via a webcam like a Google Meet or something like that, you can ask them, hey, what is your safety number? And you can verify that it matches the number that you see on your Signal app. So it's tied to every single contact that you have, and it verifies the actual person is there. It's obvious to me that in this case, that was not done. So the people involved here didn't know that existed, or completely skipped that step if they did know that safety number does exist, which is very unfortunate, because when it comes to using Signal, yes, you can still talk to people that you think are somebody, but you're being catfished. That's still an entire possibility if you're not doing these safety number verifications and going through that route. But that's the whole reason why it exists, is to ensure that you're talking to the right people.
Yeah, and that's true of any secure communication system. There will be a weakness called the human, right?
Yes,
and
human error.
That's why you need to have policies that say whatever the system is, whether it's Signal or something else, we use it this way and only this way in order to remain as secure as possible. So if you're going to use Signal for any reason, you need to be aware of what your threat level is and what policies you need to follow to make sure that stuff doesn't leak out, and follow those policies, right? That's why you have policies and rules around communicating sensitive information.
Right. And it is a little unfortunate with this story that a lot of people are looking at Signal and thinking that the app itself is vulnerable, but they have these safety precautions in place for this very reason. Signal is a very, very secure application to use. It's got excellent encryption. And that's why a lot of people, like in the cybersecurity industry, when I go to DEF CON conventions and things of that nature, everybody uses Signal, because we know that we can verify that we are who we say we are, and we're talking to the correct people when we add new people into our Signal app. So it's an excellent option. It just has to be used correctly.
Yeah, there's plenty of good justifications for using Signal in the workplace, as long as your workplace has vetted the policies and trained you on the policies, and all the people who are going to use it on the policies, that make sure you use it in the proper way. I think we've all been there, in our day-to-day lives, when we're not using sensitive information, where we like say yes too quickly to a suggestion, or accidentally like text the wrong person. Brian Ibbett texted me something this weekend that was meant for Hammond Chamberlain. That happens, right? That's normal.
Totally happens. I mean,
it wasn't sensitive information.
I've never done that before.
That's even used as a method of hacking too. I think it's called like approval fatigue or something like that, where you get so many pop-ups that eventually you just get tired of them. Like a hacker keeps on sending your phone pop-ups. Eventually you just say yes to make it go away. It's I forget if it's called approval fatigue, but it's pretty close.
It sounds good. I like that name. If that's not what people normally call it, we should. Yeah. Well, folks, we approve of you joining our Discord, and we're not fatigued with you talking to us. So please get in there and keep the chats going. We've had some great stuff, great conversations happening in there. If you'd like to join, just become a patron, patreon.com/DTNS, and link your account to Discord right there.
So yesterday, Google released a couple of new AI capabilities for Gemini users. And Shannon, you've been following this. You've been playing around with some of the features on a wait list for it and on a wait list for the others. So let's talk about what these features do and what either surprises or delights you at this point.
Oh, so many delights. As long as you're okay with AI, so many delights. The first one is really interesting, and this is the one that I already have access to, which I was so excited to see on both my Pixel phone as well as my S25 Ultra, and that is the new Gemini live video as well as screen sharing. So they have been rolling out a whole bunch of different AI features and perks throughout the past year. This one was previously announced, but now it's officially rolling out. This means that you can do a live video or like a live video through your camera app, or you can do a screen share on a website or on any kind of application that you're running on your phone, anywhere where you might want more context, but you don't necessarily want to just like take a screenshot and upload it to Gemini to ask it questions. This allows you to continue scrolling down your application and ask it about the page while you're still reading it. Like Google actually gives an example of reading a Wikipedia page. You're reading through it. Meanwhile, Gemini is answering questions that you're throwing at it live about that specific web page while you're still browsing around and checking things out. So it's a pretty cool feature, and it allows you to continue using your phone in a sense while not having to worry so much about just like pausing everything that you're doing to ask questions over at Gemini.
I love that idea of making it easier to just ask a question without having to focus in. I talked about yesterday using Google Translate. And one of the things about using Google Translate was you had to be pointing it at the thing that you were talking about at the time, or take a screenshot of a web page, like you say. So some web pages saying, can you just please like translate this for me and get back to me while I continue to fill out the form for the train ticket or whatever. That would be good.
Yeah, it just makes it more of like a seamless process. So I did test this already. One of the things I was trying out is, will it actually answer questions about a random book that I got off my bookshelf? So I have William Gibson's Idoru, which is a kind of vague and random book. It's not like on any kind of popular list at the moment, but this is an awesome book. So all I have to do is open my camera app, point it at the book itself, hold down on Gemini's app, little button, and now there's a new prompt that says share screen with live. So you click on that, choose to share the entire screen with live, and it'll start asking you for prompts about the book. So I can say, who is this author? Can you tell me about the author?
Yeah, tell us about the author.
Gibson is considered the father of cyberpunk science fiction. He's written more than 20 novels.
And it'll answer questions about the author. Can you tell me about some other books that he's written?
Gibson has written a number of books, including Pattern Recognition, Spook Country.
So he answers that.
Ask him where William Gibson is right now.
Where is William Gibson right now?
I couldn't find William Gibson's current location.
It works really well. I've already used it for several different things around my household. It does continue listening, so you do have to close it when you're done with it. You just exit out, and it gives you a little prompt at the top, a little blue notification. So it's very obvious that it is still recording. It also vibrates your phone whenever you start as well as when you're stopping. So you can have a continual conversation. And even if you're saying like, who's this dude? Like, what's William Gibson do? Like, it'll still answer you, even though you're more conversational in tone.
If you're in the live video, can you point it at a second thing? Like could you have moved it to a different book and be like, what about this book? That's kind of the fun thing about it, huh?
Yeah, so I did an example earlier today where I pointed it at a sticker I had on my desk, asked it about the sticker, like who's this character in the sticker? And then I took the sticker away and I put a book in front of it and I said, "Can you tell me about this book too?" And it was like, "Yes. Do you want to know anything else?" And I was like, "No, I'm good. Thank you. Bye."
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So, it
That's
was great.
that's pretty handy.
Yeah, it's very handy. The other thing that they just updated is AI mode. So AI mode has been available for quite some time. However, they just did an update which allows you to also image search, and it works really well. It's actually kind of surprising. So unfortunately, I don't have access to this quite yet, but I've checked out some of the examples that they've had on their website and some demos that I've seen people upload, and it does look really cool. So instead of just being able to ask AI mode for text prompt examples, you can ask it via speech what's going on with something. Now you can upload a photo to it, and it'll be able to give you a lot of context about this photo as well.
So you could just say, "What is this plant?" And take a picture of the plant, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably like, "Well, I took the photo. Like, what do you want to tell me about the photo?" But yeah, if it's something like that, for example, the tree right outside my house right now, I'm like, I don't know what kind of tree this is.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
Is this spider poisonous? Should I eat it?
Well, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Did I
example.
have a snake plant at my house for the last year that my cat was eating that actually is poisonous to cats? Very, very important.
You could point it at food and ask about the food itself. Like, can you give me some other recipes that use similar
Yeah, that's a good
items that are in this food? The idea of being able to point it at a plant is perfect. I have plants in my yard that I have no idea what they are. So that would be super useful too. One of the examples that Google gives with the AI mode with image search is being able to point it at a bookshelf. Say you have a bunch of books that are in the same genre and you say, "I kind of like these books. Can you recommend something else?" And it'll give you an idea based on the contextual key clues that it's getting from that image.
So This is basically like the live video and screen sharing, but just as a tab in search, basically. Yeah.
It is, yes. So this is available in the Google app. So you do have to have the Google app downloaded if you want to use it. You do have to be added to a waitlist for AI mode. And then they will also release the image search separately. So that's why I currently don't have it available. But you may have the AI mode already on your phone.
I'm checking again right now just to see.
Yeah, I don't currently have it on mine. I just have regular text and voice prompts for AI mode, which is also pretty cool. But we're still waiting on this one.
I have the AI mode, but I don't have the image one yet.
I do really appreciate that Google is paying attention to the ways that people interact with the world around us, as opposed to just with the phone itself. I often run into things, especially when I'm like out on a hike, I might see an animal and be like, "What is that?" Or a bug on the ground or something like that.
Yeah,
and I would love to be able to just like pull up a thing, ask Gemini real quick or ask AI, "What is this creature on the ground?" And it can help with those kind of answers. You can even ask it for examples of how to decorate a room. You can show it a picture of a room and say, "How can I decorate this room?" Or "How can I change this furniture around to be more feng shui?" Like, there's all sorts of different options that you have.
Yeah, I like this. I like this, and it's something that isn't exactly new. It's just adding it to the Gemini version. You could search through it for images before, but it wasn't using Gemini to evaluate the image.
And if anybody is curious, you can disable some of the Gemini applications. So if you don't want to use Gemini on your phone, you have the option to go into your account and disable or delete the history from your account too, if it was already enabled, as well as through the apps themselves. For example, Google Docs, Google Drive, all of those have options and ways to disable each one. It's a pretty convoluted task to go through every single one to remove the Gemini information from those and remove Gemini itself, but it is possible. So
Shannon, before we started the show, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I think I have image capabilities on AI mode. This entire time I've been trying to create something like create a boxer dog who was white,
Oh.
and nope. I think I'm on the wait list as you are. I thought that because when you see it in Google, it's kind of confusing. It's AI mode on the left, all images, shopping, videos, and more, which is, what we all know from Google search. But no, this is definitely just all I'm getting is like Reddit posts about what I asked for. So
It is a little confusing. And when I first started looking into it, I thought that I had to get the premium subscription to be able to access it to Gemini Advanced. But it turns out this is rolling out to anybody who has signed up for labs and joined the wait list. I think that Gemini Advanced may receive priority, especially if you signed up early or you have access through like a Pixel phone. I pre-ordered a Pixel phone, so I do have access to Gemini Advanced for like 12 months. It's free for 12 months or something. So that might have released these capabilities early for me, but they are rolling out. And Google has said that they're rolling out across the available regions and markets.
I'm checking my Pixel phone now.
Oh, you are?
I'm like, well, I don't have it on my account on the iPhone, but maybe I do have it on. No, I still don't have it on there. Oh, well. Also, my Pixel still thinks it's 1:30 in the morning. So it's
you got to change that.
Yeah, I think it's really got to catch up. It's not an airplane mode, is it? All right. I'll figure that out.
Oh,
So do y'all think this is something that you would use? Or for me, the problem that I run into
I'm
with
already using
Gemini and AI is sometimes I forget that it's there.
Yes.
So I don't commonly use it, and I have to actively think like, oh, Gemini would be better for this task.
Yeah, I would use it for shopping if I ever had to comparison stuff, something very quickly. It's like, give me the best price on, like, say a box of like instant oatmeal. What's the best price? Mostly not because I'd go and buy it there, but when I'm figuring out what I'm budgeting, what I'm spending at the store, well, it's like I'll leave that out because that's gonna, knock me down, $350 versus like it's $250 over here.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of options to use it, but I constantly forget that it's there. And I think that I've just been so ingrained with the way that I use my smartphones to this day and age that having this change where we're now accepting AI onto our devices, it almost makes you have to have a different mindset about accessing these tools.
I think I mentioned this before, but a few weeks ago I was at Costco and a couple were shopping. They're going down the aisle with their cart. And I remember they were like trying to make dinner and he was just asking the phone, what's a good recipe?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are the ingredients I need to get to make this? And he's just like,
Wow.
okay, well, we just need 2 more things and we're done.
AI in the wild.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting because normally it's like I just get bulk like items that will like they're shelf stable, but he was actually looking out for stuff that was going to be
I think that's
useful.
going to be more and more common that people are just using these tools as they learn what they're good for and using them more and more in various situations and being able to have more options, whether you can do this in OpenAI too. It's just you're doing it in OpenAI instead of Google. Having more options to be able to just point a camera at something and say, what is that? Or what is that made of? Or how do I make that? Can I get more of those? What's the price on that elsewhere? I think that's all useful stuff and good examples.
Well, speaking of Google announcing new features, Google TV has a tactile update this month. So, Roger, what can you tell us?
So Google told Android Authority yesterday that Google TV remotes starting this month will now come with a free TV button. So if you have a remote, some of you might have like a Netflix or a Hulu or whatever button that when you press it, drops you directly into that app. Well, Google TV will have one that will automatically, if you press the free TV button, will drop you into their free TV play experience or TV free play experience, allowing users to get into a fast a fast service quickly, so they're not going through the menu. And I thought it'd be a great idea to ask all of you what you were using for your free streaming, not just fast, but free streaming content on your video streaming device. Personally, I use, outside of YouTube, I use Pluto TV because it's the only one that reliably shows old Star Treks. Roku TV because there's a bunch of 80s TV shows I grew up on, and every once in a while, it's sort of like comfort food. I just have it running in the background. It's like, for example, right now I'm watching Scarecrow and Mrs. King with Kate Jackson and
a classic.
It is. It's
I mean,
great.
I don't remember watching that, but like, how fun that it's free.
It's free. But at least with Roku, the quality is like DVD quality, so it's really sharp. It's not like you're getting some VHS copy.
Wow.
Tubi and FilmRise, I don't use these as much, but I sometimes go through them because they offer a lot of cult, schlocky, like horror, slasher, like just weird sci-fi movies. And the great thing about FilmRise is you don't have to sign up, but it'll save where you last left a movie, and you can drop right back in and not have to start from the beginning, which is something Tubi makes you do. But
the downside is ads, right? Like that's the only downside. Otherwise, these are exactly like any other streaming service.
Which is, other than the fact that, for example, with Roku TV, the 80s TV shows ads don't show up exactly where the old TV ads used to be, it's fine because that's part of the experience.
So that doesn't bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me.
Because that's an interface. I actually know why that happens. You have to, a lot of these systems that are used to create the grids and the schedules, you have to manually place the ad markers. And then if anything gets moved in the schedule, it shoves things off by a couple of seconds. So it's not, you'd think it would be an automatic system.
Yeah.
And eventually it probably will be some kind of algorithm that can tell where the breaks are supposed to be. But right now it's all manual and it's not very smart. So if things get messed up, the ads just still show up. And
Gemini will get
Well, and
right
I feel like,
someone.
for a lot of people who are like, hey, man, it's free. It's like, yeah. I've definitely been in that situation where I'm like, well, that was a weird, right in the middle of, them telling like who killed who. Now we have an ad. But yeah, I mean, this is the fast situation when it comes to content. It's like if you're getting like fully free stuff, then you can you can look away for a certain
Are you
amount of
using
stuff.
anything, Sarah, in particular for fast, or is it something you aren't using as much? Because I'm curious to know what everyone is doing for free content, not like Hulu or Netflix or something that you're paying for, but just like, hey,
I don't think of it as free, whether I want to watch free content or not. I think of it as, does this thing have it? And if I, if I don't have to pay for it and it has it, then great, I'm going to use it.
Because
I don't really use a lot of the free content offerings. Although I did used to work at Pluto TV, which is kind of notably one of the first fast offerings, or at least one that it caught on with the Gen Pop, and the idea of giving people a lot of content for free and, having ads roll in and, trying to make the ads roll in a way that's not like super horrible, but also they're going to be there type thing. I mean, that's the reality that we're in on that. And some people say, nope, don't want that. I will pay for other stuff. Great. But for those who don't feel that way, or at least want to have options, I mean, there it is.
We're watching The Outer Limits on Cord Killers right now for the full experience, and I was watching it on Pluto, but the frustrating thing was if I stopped down and went back to pick it up, it would remember where I picked up, but it would put ads in front of it every time. And if I wanted to scrub around, like, wait a minute, I want to take a note on that thing they said earlier, and that, because I'm taking notes for the show, and I go back. Sometimes if I scrub back, it's like, well, we're going to show you ads now because you're trying to go back before the ad break, because they're trying to stop people from gaming the system by fast forwarding past ad breaks and all that. I get it, but it ended up with me because I'm like, I'm going to want to watch these on the airplane, and the airplane isn't going to have Wi-Fi. It had Wi-Fi for part of the trip, but not the whole trip. I'm just gonna buy them. I'm just gonna buy them and download them in this case. But normally, if it's on Tubi or if it's on Pluto and it's something I'm needing to watch, then I'll just watch them there instead of paying for it and just deal with the ads.
I'll say
I
this.
use Pluto.
You do?
I use Plex. Plex has a live TV option. They have tons of channels. I specifically use them to catch up on like news where my mom lives because they have channels for like her area. So that's really useful. And then for Pluto, the whole reason I found out about them is because they have an entire Sailor Moon channel.
Yeah.
Where that's all they stream is just Sailor Moon. So if I'm in the mood to watch some old school episodes of Sailor Moon, I just put that on TV because there's 200 of them. I might as well just let it choose for me. And it's so nice because I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about these fast services, whether it's Pluto or Zumo or any of them, is that if you're a fan of a show that you've seen before, but you just like having it on, like Roger was saying with Star Trek, like you're saying with
Star
Sailor
Trek,
Moon,
yeah.
There's probably a channel out there for it somewhere if it's got enough of a following.
I mean, I watch Friends all the time.
And what's great, at least on the Shield, because it's not the full Google TV experience, but because it's on Android TV, it has the bar or the channel listing, and it shows all the live stuff. Yeah, the channel guide that shows you all the live listings that's coming up. So every once in a while I'll have like the stuff I watch, but then I'll have Baywatch, and then like a talk show, and then like news, and I always find it interesting because in many ways it's sort of a roundabout way how I thought we were moving away sort of from that to just picking the stuff we wanted to watch. But then I realized I don't know what I want to watch. And it's nice to have
choice is a burden sometimes.
Yes, it is.
And that's why I go back to old shows, because I remember it's like, oh, I remember this episode. I will not be disappointed. I mean, it's like, it's like eating this.
My favorite episode of Baywatch. But you know what? I mean,
I have 4, I think.
There
was one.
I would do that.
There was one where they had to catch this guy who was using a hovercraft to like steal something, and he was getting away. He had David Hasselhoff like run on the beach as you see this hovercraft float by. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
funny.
like pre-drone life. Baywatch was on it.
Yeah, they were. I mean, that at one point the most popular TV show on the planet.
Indeed it was. I was definitely watching. All right. Well, if you're itching to travel, not by drone, but maybe by plane, but you also might want some company along the way, Chris Christensen might have the answer for you.
This is Chris Christensen from Amateur Traveler with another Tech in Travel Minute. Sometimes the best high-tech solutions are not all that high-tech. On a recent episode of Amateur Traveler, the one that's coming out on March 29th, I interviewed Nomadic Matt and asked him about how he connects with locals, and he recommended a private Facebook group called Find a Travel Buddy. This is a private group with 2.5 million members, and basically if you're looking to meet up with people or if you're looking for somebody else to travel with, you just post in this group and get responses from locals or from people who are heading to the same place that you are. Find a Travel Buddy on Facebook. And this is Chris Christensen from Amateur Traveler.
Aw, making friends around the world.
I love that.
Cool. I mean, I can imagine many people that I would not want to travel with, but
Sure.
but being optimistic, like the idea of being like, you know what, maybe I want to go to this like place I've never been before, and wouldn't it be nice if somebody else wants to do that too, and we can, collab.
I've made plane buddies, but never travel buddies. Like where you're just stuck in the seat next to someone.
Yeah.
I feel like I've
For
made
10
travel
hours.
buddies, rarely plane buddies, because I'm like, just don't talk to me.
I've been on a lot of work trips on my own, and it would be so cool to have somebody to hang out with, like after a full day of going to a convention.
Yeah.
Like cons used to do that. They used to have like that separate forum where people would like, hey, you want to meet up?
And it's also like, I mean, it's very very specific. You can have someone who's like, I'm also interested in what you're interested in. And you're like, but I don't like you. So you have to,
Sure.
just
Your
tread
mileage
lightly.
may vary.
All right, let's check out the mailbag.
John had some thoughts after hearing my description of using ChatGPT while traveling in Japan. John wrote, I'm in the process of buying a home. There was a lot of paperwork involved. I decided early on to have both Gemini and ChatGPT summarize the paperwork as it came to me. I don't love the idea of feeding extremely sensitive information like that into a database I don't have control over, but at the same time, it helped me tremendously. On several occasions, it found information within the contracts surrounding fee schedules, the closing day, and even the commission being paid to my realtor not being what I had agreed to. I'm carefully reading the contracts myself, but it's literally a second set of eyes, the second set of eyes that doesn't usually miss details.
Yeah. As long
Smart.
as you're not hallucinating, sounds pretty good. No, I've heard this from countless other friends for not necessarily buying a house, but just anything that is, hey, go through this, this legal document and find anything that might be a discrepancy. And people are definitely using this on a daily basis.
It's one of the reasons why more powerful on-device models are important because, John's willing to take a flyer on this not ending up being misused by Gemini or by Google or OpenAI. Other people might not want to take that chance, but if it's on device and you're sure that it's not leaving your device, then yeah, you might be more willing to have it give it a pass because, like he said, it's a good second set of eyes, and it's a second set of eyes. You're not putting your entire trust in it to catch all the errors. You're saying, hey, can you alert me to stuff so I can review it again?
Indeed.
I mean, yeah. Mortgage documents, I remember, it comes in a giant binder, and you got 30 things you need to sign, and you're always a little worried that you signed your life away.
Yeah, and they don't come in binders anymore. They come in files, and that I think makes it even harder to review because you either want to print them out or you just get eye fatigue. Speaking of fatigue, looking at all the files on your screen.
Well, remember, everyone, you can send in your comments to anything we talk about on the show. Anything we talked about today, that we talked about in the past, that we might talk about in the future. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. And thanks to you, Shannon Morse, for being with us today. Where can people find your latest?
youtube.com/Shannon Morse. I actually have, this is so exciting, a big collaboration video happening later this week with our very own Jason Howell, who flew all the way up here to do my very first collab hosting for a video here in my super messy studio. So that was so much fun. We had such a blast, and I got to adventure with him around Colorado to shoot this video. So I can't wait to share it with everyone. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it, because we're also doing a giveaway in the video too.
Fun.
Yeah.
During this show, folks have been submitting titles at dtns.showbot.tv. We have lots of good titles. Thanks. I know Nightbot was down in the chat room today, so thanks for your patience and going over and submitting them directly at dtns.showbot.tv. Nick with a C. Signal is secure. People are not, is leading the voting right now. Larry in Atlanta with Don't Call It a Drone. Choice is a burden from Zoe Brings Bacon. Signal called Your warranty is about to expire from Saray. Tom's phone is more jet lagged than he is. I finally caught up. Nick with a C. It turns out it wasn't actually wrong on the time. It just thought it was night and was giving me night mode for some weird thing. AI in the wild. 80s TV is now comfort food from GPEG84.
Oh, it very much is.
Oh, very much. Yeah. Lots of good titles in there. Drone Delivery Dilemmas, another good one from GPEG84. Sarah, what did we go with?
We went with Signal is secure. People are not, from Nick with a C.
Good one, Nick with a C. Thank you so much for that. Also, big thanks to everybody who watches us live. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on YouTube, and we are live on Twitch every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Big thanks to the person whose username on Twitch is Tom Merritt says Gawkubs for resubscribing at Tier 3 for the 72nd month.
What is Gawkubs?
I don't know. Maybe I'm mispronouncing that. But anyway, 6 years subscribed at Tier 3, and also says, I'll change my name in 2 months once Twitch lets me. It says Go Cubs. He's trying to make it say Tom Merritt says Go Cubs.
I see.
Because I'm a Cardinals fan, and I don't want to say it.
Go Cubs.
You're not going to say it. Say it. Okay, but you know what? You got what you wanted.
There you go. Hockey Sticks is resubscribed for the 40th month. Zoe Brings Bacon gave us some bits. Thank you, Zoe. Paley Glendale cheered us with 50 bits. And if Eat UO Tech followed us yesterday, I Feecho Tech. What am I missing here? I'm going to feel silly when I realize what this is. Thanks everybody for supporting us.
Oh, what if it means if eat?
That's what I said at first. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
Big thanks to everyone who supports us there and at patreon.com/DTNS.
Indeed. Lots of Apple on news lately. And thankfully, Apple Vision Show is back this week. We took a couple weeks off, but Eileen and Rivera and I hope you will join us. This is live Thursday, right after DTNS Live, to kick around what we think that Apple's vision is, and if it matches what we think the users, that's us, want. Join us and get subscribed now at applevisionshow.com. You can also watch us live here on DTNS Live, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 UTC, and you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. We're back doing it all again tomorrow with Scott Johnson talking about Nintendo's high pricing for tentpole Switch 2 games. Come on with us.
Gawkubs!
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.